Today I will be going through the best recommended way of defeating Nemesis throughout his 4 stages. Nemesis is similar to Mr. X. He's resistant and difficult to defeat and will constantly pursue the player throughout the game.
So it's called the Nemesis.
Defeating Nemesis is quite straightforward. Initially, avoid, understand his patterns, and you can easily figure out for yourself what's the best way to attack him. In the initial battle, Nemesis uses his flamethrower. The best way to avoid this is hiding behind nearby debris, waiting for him to refill his flamethrower, giving you ample opportunity to fire 2 to 3 shots into his canister in order to make it explode. Just avoid, keep running in circles away from him. Try to get him in a vulnerable state and then fire behind him or in front of him.
Kicking?
Once you do this enough times, he will eventually relinquish his flamethrower altogether and then use it as a melee weapon to try and gore you to death. In this environment, I would recommend the nearby battery to debilitate him, allowing you to fire and destroy him. But the main concept here is continuously keep moving, using dodge to avoid attack, and using the nearby debris to block any flamethrower attacks. Once Nemesis gets enough damage, a cutscene will begin, and you can move on with the remainder of the game. Stage 2 of Nemesis is where it starts to get very difficult, as he transforms from a 2-legged bipedal creature to a 4-legged dog-like creature. He increases in versatility, damage and ferocity as he attacks you. In this stage, I recommend limiting the amount of full-on attacks and wait for him to begin his encircle maneuver, where he jumps around in a circle around your position in the courtyard of the watchtower. Nemesis in stage 2, similar to the stage 1 fight, the main goal here is running around in circles, not allowing him to have a direct. I would recommend conserving all ammunition until he starts running around in circles around you. This is the best opportunity to use your newly acquired mine grenades. The best way to defeat him in this position is to fire preemptively grenade mines on surfaces in which he's about to jump to, in order to knock him over onto the ground, leaving his heart exposed. Once his heart is exposed, fire at it with whatever weapon you have. Continuously run away from him, dodge, and heal yourself when necessary. Also, refill your supplies nearby. When Nemesis is locked off a platform and his heart becomes exposed, fire at his heart as much as possible in order to defeat Nemesis.
Right, let's do this.
Before getting into the fight with stage 3 Nemesis, I would recommend arranging your inventory with just the grenade launcher and any and all grenade launcher ammunition that you have, as well as 3 to 4 health packs. In this stage, I would recommend dodging continuously and only engaging once he starts beginning his encircle maneuver, and subsequently is knocked off, and then you can begin firing into his exposed heart in order to defeat him and allow for the next cutscene to begin and continue on with the main game. Once the fight begins, initially attack Nemesis with a head-on grenade to avoid an initial pounding attack. Run either left or right around in a circular fashion until Carlos is able to start spotting for you.
Jill, is that you?
Carlos?
You're okay. Let me spot for you.
Good idea.
Once this begins, I would recommend conserving all ammunition until Nemesis begins his encircular movement pattern similar to stage 2. Once this has happened, he will either pause in between silos or pause on top of silos. At this point, use your grenade launcher to fire at him, knocking him off, leaving his heart exposed, very similar to stage 2.
Come out and play, bird.
Once his heart is exposed, continuously fire at it until he gets back up, and then repeat. Continuously run in circles. I would recommend avoiding attacking zombies, as they would just be a waste of ammunition. Leave the zombies between you and Nemesis, allowing Nemesis to deal with them. Additionally to his scream attack that was present in stage 2, he now has a lasso attack in which he uses his tentacle to try and knock you down. The best way to get rid of this is just distance yourself as quick as possible from Nemesis and use health packs if you have them available. When running around the stage in this combat, I would recommend picking up, when you have the space available in your inventory, any lying around supplies. In order to defeat Nemesis in this, you just have to master dodging attacks as he goes as close to you as possible, and even more so than the second stage. Once you fire at his exposed heart multiple times, the cut sequence will begin and the fight will be over. To avoid any pound or stomp abilities, use the dodge button and continuously run in a circle around the center of the courtyard to avoid any head-on attacks or collisions. Conserve all ammunition until it begins encircling you. This is the time to strike. Use your grenade launcher to fire at a position he is about to jump to. Once he gets to that position, he will be knocked off, leaving his heart exposed. At this time, continuously fire at the heart as much as possible. Do this 4 to 5 times and Nemesis will be defeated.
Jill! Here comes a crane. Use it to climb up.
The most difficult stage in defeating Nemesis is definitely stage 3. Nemesis in stage 3 is very similar to stage 2. His aggression is increased and his ferocity in which he attacks you is also increased. With continuously pounding and stomping in front of you, the best way to avoid these attacks is dodge and continuously move. You will also be surrounded by 2 to 3 zombies every time he begins to do his encircle maneuver, similar to stage 2.
Have you ever seen anything so incredible? The data on this would be worth millions.
Look, just so you know, this is the last time.
Stage 4 is possibly the easiest stage to defeat Nemesis in. Initially, once the battle begins, turn around directly, pick up the railgun and fire it at any position where Nemesis is.
Cooldown in progress. Please reactivate power sources.
Once that is finished,
Power.
the batteries of course will not be working again and you need to manually put the batteries back in. This is very simple, but initially before you put the batteries back in, Nemesis will grow nodes around his body, about 3 or 4 each side of him, left and right. Fire at the nodes with a pistol. 4 to 5 shots make them explode. Once all the nodes are destroyed on his left and right of his body, he'll fall down. Once he falls down, you can insert 2 batteries. You'll have to repeat the first process again. The main weapon to use in the last stage of defeating Nemesis is just the handgun. The handgun is all you need. Acid and continuously be swiping left and right with his gigantic arms. The best way to avoid this is leading to the edge of the map while you're attacking his nodes and dodge every sweep. After he's down again a second time, push in the 3rd battery. Once the 3rd battery is down, run back to the railgun
You think I don't know how to you up?
and fire again directly at his heart. And then that will initiate the cutscene and Nemesis will be defeated. The shortest of the battles and possibly the most exciting as he finally gets defeated. Walk forward, place the gun in his mouth and fire. A very satisfying end to the game.
Come on! Next time, take the hits!
As he showered in his blood, say a satisfying retort and continue on with the game. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed it.
Good riddance.